Hey, I'm Jim Weber in New York with CSTV's At the Buzzer. The Maryland Terrapins rallied from a 13-point deficit.
Maybe they had something there, something happened there that they...
Devastated, Bennett considered quitting the profession he had dedicated most of his life to.
Hey, I'm Jim Weber in New York with CSTV's At the Buzzer. The Maryland Terrapins rallied from a 13-point deficit to take the title game against Duke into overtime before winning their first women's basketball national championship 78-75. Freshman guard Kristi Tolliver sank a three at the end of regulation with a 6'7" Allison Bills in her face to tie the game. Tournament MOP Laura Harper scored 16 points for the Terps, offsetting a game-high 22 by Duke's Monique Curry. On the men's side of the court, sophomore guard Rajon Rondo of Kentucky announced yesterday he will enter the NBA draft and hire an agent, ending his career at UK. Meanwhile, Louisiana Tech junior big man Paul Millsap announced he will also hire an agent and make the jump to the pros. In a prepared statement, Millsap said he made the decision to help his mother enjoy the life she deserves. For more on today's news and scores, log on to CSTV.com. I'm Jim Weber in New York with CSTV's At the Buzzer. Exciting weekend of Super Regional Baseball action. Oregon State defeated Stanford 15-zip to advance to their second consecutive College World Series after a 53-year absence. The Beavers were led by pitcher Jonah Nickerson, who scattered 5 hits over 7 2/3 innings, and catcher Mitch Canham, who drove in 5 runs. Super Regional action continues today with 3 more College World Series spots on the line. Oregon State awaits the winner of Miami and Ole Miss, who hit the diamond tonight at 7 Eastern. The Hurricanes stormed past the Rebels yesterday 7-0, ending a 5-game Mississippi win streak. Oklahoma also forced a Game 3, defeating Rice 11-5 yesterday in Game 2. It was the Owls' first loss since May 12th. Georgia and South Carolina will also be playing an elimination game this evening at 7 Eastern after the Bulldogs defeated the Gamecocks yesterday 11-5. For more, log on to CSTV.com. It would be an understatement to say SMU football has had a couple down years. Since 1987, it's had just 1 winning season. But as you're about to find out, there are a lot of people in Dallas cheering for Mustangs coach Phil Bennett.
I was like most young coaches. I'd had some success. I'd been a coordinator since I was 28. There'd been tough times, but I had my family with me.
SMU's Phil Bennett is like most coaches, tough, hardworking, and demanding. But for the past 6 years, his life off the field has been anything but typical.
It's got to be the most strenuous job. He's got to worry about my sister and I at home. He's got to worry about the football field. He's got to worry about winning football games. It's a hard job.
I'm from a family where my parents were separated, and I know the struggle it was for my mom. She had to raise 7. I just tip my hat off to him to be able to run a football team and be able to manage 2 kids also.
August 11th, 1999, a day Phil Bennett will never forget. Nancy Bennett, out for her morning jog, is struck by lightning, and the coach's life is turned upside down.
I remember when I asked the policeman, and I went to look for her, and when I asked the policeman, jokingly, I said, "Have you seen a good-looking blonde jogging?" And when he looked at me and said, "Coach, did you know that lady?" I felt like my whole world, I knew it was bad. And then when I got to the emergency room and I busted in the emergency room along with a security guard, and I looked up and they were all working on her, I was helpless, absolutely helpless.
17 days later, she was gone, and Phil Bennett, then an assistant at Kansas State, found himself with 2 young children, a demanding job, and little idea of what to do next.
I had an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old that I had to take care of. I'm usually not a very negative person, but the first thing I remember is I can't do this and be good at either one of them.
Phil's a tough guy. Now, being tough, I'm sure when he got home and there were nights I was staying at his house, I know how much he slept, I know how much it bothered him. And he wasn't tough at night. The toughness left him.
Devastated, Bennett considered quitting the profession he had dedicated most of his life to. But Kansas State head coach Bill Snyder talked him out of it, convincing Bennett it was possible to keep his job and his priorities.
I'm very passionate about coaching football, very passionate about getting this program headed in the right direction. But those 2 kids are my legacy. They're their mother's legacy. And you have to be there.
He's not like one of those coaches that is always at the office and never comes home. He comes home extra early so he can spend time with us, then go out to dinner, then sometimes he goes back to the office.
In 2001, Bennett fulfilled a lifelong dream when he returned to his native Texas to coach the Mustangs and be closer to the rest of his family. But it hasn't been easy. SMU managed just 6 wins in Bennett's first 3 seasons. But 2005 brings new hope on the field and a full house off of it. In July, Bennett married the former Julie White, who with 2 kids of her own, adds balance to the coach's life.
I think everything's possible. I mean, I have a lot of faith that things work out. It was like miracles the way everything changed and fell into place.
I think marriage is just like coaching football. You've got to work at it. Like anything else, there's going to be challenges and there's going to be ups and downs. And I think if we stay course and stay positive, good things are going to come out of it.
2005 turned out to be a groundbreaking year for SMU football. The Mustangs earned their first win over a top 25 team in nearly 20 years by defeating arch rival TCU. Finishing the season at 5-6, SMU is carrying a 3-game winning streak into the 2006 campaign. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie turned a lot of heads when they headed to the African country of Namibia for the birth of their daughter Shiloh on May 27th. Now, with Britney Spears receiving an open invitation from the government to follow in Jolie's footsteps, we headed out to the public to see what they thought about the newest celebrity fad. I'm here with Christina. Christina, what do you think about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie going to Namibia for their baby's birth?
I think it's too much publicity on the wrong subject.
Why do you think Namibia as opposed to Chad or another African country?
Maybe they have something there, something happened there that brings them back, or maybe they had some special moment with someone there and want to go back.
Probably to avoid all the publicity it was causing with Jennifer Aniston and get out of her face for a little bit.
Do you think the public will follow? You know how they like to pick up on this trend?
I hope so. I hope that they follow and go to Africa and help.
If you had another child, would you think about a Namibian birth?
No, I wouldn't. I would stay right here.
Despite the obsession with celebrity culture, it appears there won't be a Namibian baby boom anytime soon.